Okay, hi YouTube, it's Diane. It's April 1st, 2020. Thought I'd do a quick update. And let's see, life update. Just trying to figure out what the next thing is, like everybody else. Grocery shopping's getting interesting. Never thought I would see them limit fresh cauliflower, but oh well. It is what it is. Health-wise, we're all doing well. My husband's doing well. He's still high risk, so I went grocery shopping today and wore the outer shell of my multi-layer coat and then threw that in the laundry. It needed to go in the laundry anyway. After the winter season, it needs to do that anyway. And did, this little number every time I had to open up a cooler. But it was weird. There's like a quiet hush over everything. It's odd. But I thought I'd do a quick update video. Today is, I said that already, right? April 1st, 2020. It is April Fool's, and I guess I'm acting the fool. Haul. I got 32 count by Fiberlicious, my fabric of the month. Oh my moose. And it is this piece of fabric, which I think I'm going to put on the back of here so you can see a contrast. Good. It's a little more gray than it's coming across, but I think it's really cool. You guys watching Julie McConnell, she's doing a pattern a day, and one of the patterns she showed, she said, I think this would be the perfect color. It's not the right size, but I think it'd be the perfect color. So I might have to order a bigger piece. Don't know what I'm going to stitch on it. Sometimes I'll get her fabric of the month and I'll know immediately what to stitch on it, but not this one. My other haul are my nest eggs. Thank you, Trisha. I've been getting 10 Gentle Art sampler threads a month, so I can build up my collection of those. But that's it for haul. I am looking at ordering from my LNS and other places. I think it was Brenda and the Cereal Starter. Is it Lori? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name. They were talking about kind of spreading whatever their budget is for their stitching different places. I think if we all do that when we can encourage these businesses to come back when all the dust is settled. So I've really only been stitching on one project, but I've been doing some fully finished pieces. So my PSA, I have 2 PSAs today. One, if you are looking for a lotion, because we're washing our hands a lot more, that's really, really good around your stitching, I encourage you to get this one, Gloves in a Bottle. They call it a shielding lotion. I like this one. I've used it for years. It's fragrance-free, hypoallergenic, dermatologist recommended. This little bottle costs about $8. I know, pricey, but it'll last you forever. Because if you use more than this little dot here, this little teardrop, you're using too much. And that's enough to share, and right now we don't want to do that. But you can actually wash your hands 2 or 3 times and you still feel this lotion on. I really like this. And my body chemistry doesn't work with all lotions. Just touched my face, I know, I'm sorry. But this one works great. So I know Stitchville has this. This has been for sale at the skin center in my medical clinic. Amazon probably has it, I don't know. But in my opinion, it's worth the investment. If you get the pump, there's a bigger one with a pump thing. You don't want to go do the full pump because it's too much. And this little bottle, this is my replacement. I bought this recently. The one I had before literally lasted me like 5 years. But you give yourself 5 minutes, then begin your stitching. This is not going to hurt your stitching or quilting or what have you. So it's really, really nice, and I love using this one because I wash my hands a lot anyway, just being a mom. And you can wash your hands 2 or 3 times before you have to reapply. It says 4 hours, but just throwing that out. The second PSA is when you are fully finishing an item and you want to lace it, make sure the foam core actually fits your frame before you lace it, because I did like the biggest piece I've ever stitched and I laced it and it was all straight and I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure it's straight. I try to put it in the frame. It's like 3/8 of an inch too big on the side and on the bottom. I thought, Diane, you didn't even try to put it in your frame before you laced it. So now I have to take all that out and relace it. And to lace, I use these just balls of pearl cotton. Now this one still has its label, but I have a number of them that lost their label over the years for whatever reason. I've taken, when I use these for a project, of taking a Sharpie and writing on the inside, because these labels never stay on, ever. Because you get to a certain point and it just falls off. So nobody's going to care if it's purple, and this stuff is meant to be used to stitch, so it's not going to harm your stitching. So if you have a collection of those, that's a way to use them. But after I had that snafu, I pulled out a different piece to fully finish, and here it is. Hibernation Day Heartstring Samplery. The frame I got at Joann's, this opening is roughly 10 by 24. It had like 3 or 4 pictures, kind of a collage thing. It had glass and that matting, and I took that all out. But here it is. I used all the called for colors except on the white. The white blended into my fabric too much. My fabric is 28 count Ren by Picture This Plus. It is a Cashel linen, it's not Lugana. But it just blended too much. So I used a different overdyed white. And then down here, there's supposed to be a band of initials and year. I didn't want that, so I took it out and moved these bands up, which I might have ran out of fabric if I hadn't done that. So I really like how this turned out, and because it was one of those frames, it had this back on it, so I didn't have to worry about the paper, and I did this myself, put this on myself. I think, yeah, this frame actually had these already on, and it also had it here, so people could hang it either way. So I removed those and used them on a different frame. This frame is not wood, it's like resin or something. The kids are pushing Dad's buttons. So then I pulled out a different piece to fully finish, and this one I know because at Hobby Lobby we actually tested to make sure that the foam core fit, because I got this frame from Hobby Lobby. It was another one of those collage frames. So I pulled out the glass and the matting from the collage, and one of these pieces, when I was pulling the glass out, it broke, so be careful when you do that. One Nation by Bygone Stitches. This was my Mania piece last year, and so each day of Mania I did one state name. I had some of them done, like 2 or 3 rows up here. But then I just added the state name. If I had extra time that day, then I'd add the lines or these little motifs. That way by the end of May, I had 41, I think I already had 10 names done, because I said I had 41 names at the end of May. May has 31 days, so. This is 36 count Antique Country Mocha. And it calls for classic colorworks, but also gives you DMC alternatives, and that's what I used because I liked it on my fabric a little better. I have seen this as a whip on ale, and if I had ale, which is the called for fabric, I definitely would have used the classic colorworks. But I really like how it turned out. And this alphabet, once you learn this alphabet, it was very easy to go, oh, Texas. And just, you go through and you didn't really have to look at the pattern as much. Some patterns, like Lizzie Kate patterns, every letter is different. Oh, I'm sorry. Lizzie Kate is cute, but that is one thing that really, really annoys me. Just personal. It's a me thing. Although I did misspell Georgia. I posted on Instagram. Someone said, I hate to tell you, but you forgot the second G. So I went back and I fixed it because I was glad before I added Connecticut and Massachusetts. Or as Vicky from Stitch and Button says, Massachusetts. But I really like how it turned out. It's very simple frame. and I know exactly where this is going to hang. I know where that one's going to hang. Then my third piece. This piece is actually 4 different patterns by the same designer, the drawn thread, and it's, ouch, it's on the back of here. It's Simply Winter, Simply Spring, Simply Summer, and Simply Autumn. But on the back of one or more of those patterns, it showed all 4 stitched on the same piece, and I liked that, so that's what I did. Except they started with autumn at the top, and in Minnesota, January is winter. So I put winter at the top. I was trying to figure out how to fully finish this. I was looking at Hobby Lobby at a whole variety of options, and this is what I came up with. Now this is just a wood plaque from their unfinished wood section. I think it's 10 by 13 or 9 by 13. 10 by 13. And I put this on foam core, and then there's just a little, like a 1/4 inch top, bottom, and side. And I thought of putting some kind of trim, and I tried some different ones, and I didn't like it, so I thought, you know what, I'm keeping it simple. And then Hobby Lobby has these handles, these antique looking handles, and so this one has kind of a patina and a little keyhole. And so after I had stained this, I used this home decor wood tint that I got at Joann's. They have a whole variety of colors. This one is, say the color? Oh, this is walnut is the color. It's by Plaid. I just got it at Joann's with a coupon. It went on so nice and easy. I did, I think, 2 coats to get the color I wanted. I didn't put a final finish on it. I let it really dry before I put this on. But I want it to kind of age, and you know, if it cracks and stuff, that's what I want over time. So, and I didn't want to do all the activation, crackle, blah, 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 blah. No. So, we have Simply Winter, which I use B5200, otherwise I used overdyes. Not necessarily the called for. I pulled from my own collection. Simply Spring. This does have Smyrna crosses in it, otherwise it's all full cross. Is there any back stitching in this one? There's a little bit of back stitching on the bird legs. This one, Simply Spring, has some satin stitches in the roses, and then you got the birds with a little bit of back stitching, full stitch. This is Simply Summer, all the little bees. There's all these little bees. They're just so cute, and those are satin stitched, as is the bee skep. That you want to take your time on if you're stitching it. Just, it's not hard, but just take your time with it. And then Simply Autumn, all these leaves are satin stitched, and again there's some on the birds, there's some back stitching, otherwise it's full cross. So that is, I'm not sure where to hang this. I'm kind of concerned that, well, that's why that's split, that this might be a little heavy, so I might have to glue some washers over here to kind of counterbalance it a little bit. I plan on using this as the hanger, but if that doesn't work, I'll put a sawtooth or something else on the back. But I think that turned out really, really cute. And I had a couple others I was going to fully finish, but I kind of lost my mojo on that because I wanted to stitch. And this is what I've been stitching on. I've been stitching on, oh, I didn't bring the picture in, so sorry. Zelda by Mirabilia. I've shown it in my last few videos. I am doing a color conversion. My own color conversion. I am stitching her on 32 count Thornhaven, hand dyed by Stephanie, and all of the stitching is done. I do have to do the back stitching, face, hands. There's also a lot of back stitching down here in the skirt for stems, so I need to do that, and then I need to bead. I did some beading because I messed up over here in the cushion, and I got so frustrated. I want to finish this piece, and I thought, no, I'm not putting it away. So I started beading. So this entire black band I've already beaded, and then I started beading over here. All this little design here, beads. There's a lot of beads that got to go through here and around the cushions. There's like a hanging tassel kind of thing over here, up here in her dress, a lot in her hair. I was surprised how many are in her hair. So, and there's also these random beads hanging off the bottom of her skirt. I'm leaving those off. I don't think that would look good, because I'm changing the colors of the beads too. Well, most of them. There's 7 beads, and I think I've changed at least 5 of them. So here is what she looks like now. Next time you see her, she will be fully finished. So all the stitching is done. Yeah, there you can see her. All the stitching is done. So I gotta do the back stitching, the face, hands over in here, and then do the beading. And I try and bead when my kids go to bed, because I fling the beads everywhere. I don't need any help doing that. But yeah, she's the one I want to fully finish. Well, I want to finish, excuse me. And I will be sharing my color conversion. I've been asked in some different groups that I've posted progress in. I will share my color conversion at no charge. I don't have that right. And I have no problem with anybody using my color conversion. Just acknowledge it's Nora's design, because she's a genius. She's a wonderful artist. And that's my color conversion. I'm doing red in navy blues. That one was done by a lady named Beverly. So I'll give her credit where credit's due. That's pretty much it. But that's what I'm going to be finishing hopefully this week. On Instagram, it's mondotstitches, one word. So if you are on Instagram, you could follow the progress, because I will post update pictures there. And then I will do a separate video where I literally walk through, okay, this is what the original color is, and this is what I used. Original, what I used. I will do that. Separate video. But, yeah, she's almost done. Yay. I've never done a piece this large conversion. I've done smaller conversions, but I like how it turned out. I was really, really nervous, and then all of a sudden it just kind of came together. So, that's my plan. Keeping some sanity if possible. It's weird. You know, I normally stay at home, but now they're saying you have to stay at home, and now I want to go out. I don't know. It's all psychological. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you're all keeping safe and healthy. And, you know, we kind of joke about the recommendations, but they are keeping people safe in the long run. And I would much rather overreact than underreact in this situation. My husband's working crazy hours, and the kids and I are just doing the next thing. So it's hard to plan, because I was going to go on a retreat, and it's been postponed. I'm not sure exactly when. It's a spring fling. It's hosted by Stitchville, and I've wanted to go for years, and this is the first year I could actually go, and then this all happens. But it's kind of hard to plan when you really don't know what the future holds. Anyway, it is what it is. And we'll look back on this at some point. But if you didn't know, Heaven and Earth Designs is having a 50% off their pattern sale until Friday, I believe. And my daughter, who finished her Haid, which is hanging in that group, I'm going to be buying another one for her. The Dreamer is what it's called. She wants a regular size this time, so she's going to challenge herself. And I might buy one for myself too. I know I have several started, and I should actually finish one, but it is what it is. I want to keep supporting the designers and people who make things available to us. But definitely go watch Julie, her pattern of the day. It's worth watching. A variety of designers, variety of motifs, variety of designs, styles, fabrics. It's interesting how this whole craft has really grown. But I encourage you to go watch her, and I'll throw some other floss tubers below their names and links to their channels. I found some new to me, and then there's some regulars I always watch, so I'll just put a variety in there if you're looking for somebody else to watch, because we can spread the love. But I'll let you all go, figure out what my kids are up to. Minnie Dot needs a nap. So I'll talk to you all later. Keep safe, keep healthy, and enjoy your stitching. Love to you all. Bye.